And so we begin our journey through Holy Week, a journey which we take with Jesus and with one another, and one which this year takes on a special significance as our physical journeys are curtailed through the coronavirus lockdown. Many of us are facing solitary isolation, and all of us are limited in our human contacts. This is causing distress in many different ways, and there are no signs that the lockdown will end anytime soon. The future may well look difficult or even frightening. However we feel in these challenging times, we know that God is in the midst of it all. And as we travel the road to Calvary with Jesus, we do so knowing and trusting that there is life, true life, beyond the suffering of the cross. Jesus' final journey to the cross was one of isolation and desolation, suffering, separated from those he loved and deserted by some of his closest friends. From the cross we hear his words of anguish, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And we may cry out in a similar way when the darkness surrounds us. But of course Jesus was not forsaken, and neither are we. God is here now, within us and surrounding us, even if we don't recognize that. Nothing can separate us from the love of God. Our Christian faith doesn't act as an insurance policy to spare us the inevitable sufferings of life. It's rather an unending supply of love, which, if we recognize it and allow it, gives us strength and hope to come through even the most devastating trials stronger and wiser. As we do so, we can provide hope for those around us. We have a promise from God, and our job is to hold fast to that promise and to share it with those around us through loving service, faithfulness, and prayer. The Franciscan priest Richard Rohr puts it beautifully. He says this: "Because of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection, we know ahead of time that the final chapter is always resurrection. Although so much of life is filled with suffering, disappointment, disillusionment, absurdity, and dying, God will turn all of our crucifixions into resurrections." This is the Christian hope. God will turn all our crucifixions into resurrections. I wish each one of you a faithful journey through Holy Week.